give up life as a bad mistake. Please excuse me from Jim. I got this terrible cold coming on. He grabs and devours. He kicks me in the showers. Kicks me in the showers and he grabs and devours. I want to go home. I don't want to stay. Last night of the fair, by the big wheel generator, a boy is stopped when his money is grabbed. In the air hangs heavy like a gull in wine. She is famous, she is funny. An engagement ring doesn't mean a thing to a mind consumed by brass and money. And though I walk home alone, I might walk home alone, but my faith in love is still too foul. The last night of the fair, from a seat on a whirling waltzer, the skirt a sense for a watching eye. It's a hideous trait on a mother's side. From a seat on a whirling waltzer, the skirt a sense for a watching eye. It's a hideous trait on a mother's side. And though I walk home alone, I walk home alone, but my faith in love is still devout.
Some sort of
Then someone falls in love and someone's beaten up, and the sense of being dulled are mine. And someone falls in love and someone's beaten up, and the sense of being dulled are mine. And though I walk home alone, I might walk home alone, but my faith in love is still devout. This is the last night of the fair, and the grease in the hair of a speedway operator is all a tremulous heart requires. A schoolgirl is denied. She said, how quickly would I die if I jumped from the top of the parachute? This is the last night of the fair, and the grease in the hair of a speedway operator is all a tremulous heart requires. The schoolgirl is denied. She said, how quickly would I die if I jumped from the top of the parachute? So scratch my name on your arm with a This means you really love me. Scratch my name on your arm with a fountain pen. This means you really love me. And though I walk home alone, I just might walk home alone. But my faith in love is still devoured. I might walk home alone. But my faith in love is still devoured. I might walk home alone. But my faith in love is still devoured.
Made by nature to transform you. Synergy is the original organic raw kombucha. Begin with something real. Begin within.
Call Jill.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Santa Fe with America's best warranty.
The Santa Fe comes standard with Hyundai complimentary maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
I'd like to drop my trousers to the world. I am a man of means, of slender means. Each household appliance is like a new silence in my town. And if the day came when I felt a natural emotion, I'd get such a shock I'd probably jump in the ocean. And when a train goes by, it's such a sad sound. It's such a sad thing. I'd like to drop my trousers to the Queen. Every sensible child will know what this means. The poor and the needy are selfish and greedy on her turn. And if the day came when I felt a natural emotion, I'd get such a shock I'd probably jump in the ocean. And when a train goes by, it's such a sad sound. It's such a sad thing. And when I'm lying in my bed, I think about life and I think about death. And neither one particularly appealed to me. And if the day came when I felt a natural emotion, I'd get such a shock I'd probably lie in the middle of the street and Well, I wonder, do you see me when we pass? I half died. Please keep me in mind. Please keep me in mind. Gasping, but somehow still alive. This is the fierce last stand of all I am. Gasping, dying, but somehow still alive. This is the final stand of all I am. Please keep me in mind.
Raymore and Flanagan's Memorial Day sale, or buy now and pay later with financing.
Hi. Welcome to the Poetry Project. I'm Kyle Dukuyan. I'm the executive director here. Before I get into the program of this event, I do have a mic announcement to make, which is that we've found a cell phone that has a background of pandas climbing a tree. So if this is you, that's you. Okay, great. We got it. Cool. We figured it out, everybody. Wow, okay, great. So, I'm also just like really feeling the circular experience of this room, which is new and unusual for us and so special to receive. This room is so charged with all kinds of experiments and encounters and ambitions and secrets and stories and relationships. And I'm very honored to be welcoming into this place two artists whose work feels so deeply into what place is, what conditions and elements constitute location and belonging, all of the ways we are reconstituted by contact and context. So thank you, welcome to Lucía, Hinojosa, Gaxiola, and to Guadalupe, Maravilla. I also want to extend appreciation to Tender Buttons Press and especially to Leanne Brown. This event, in a way, serves as a launch for Lucia's amazing book, The Telaraña Circuit, copies of which are for sale. I hope that you gift yourself with this very beautiful, special, transformative book. I also want to say, ordinarily when we program events at the Poetry Project, we often invite 2 poets or artists to each do maybe a 25 or 30-minute set. And I'm very moved that in this particular case, Lucía and Guadalupe took this occasion to be an opportunity for a collaboration. And they have really formed this evening into something continuously responsive between them. So I'm going to share an introduction for Guadalupe. After my introduction, we'll have a guest introduction from No Land for Lucía. And then the night is just going to go. With both of these artists responding to each other and all of us encircling or radiating from that. I think something really enduring in poetry is that it brings language to what is unfathomable without suggesting that language be a material or a method for understanding. And in this way that poems don't make anything make more sense, I feel that Guadalupe Maravilla's work brings me into physical contact with a certain knowledge I can't exactly apprehend. Because to apprehend it would be to put a border around what the knowledge is. And what it is something freer, something vibrating in a more open terrain of mystery. He brings together objects, mythologies, sounds, textures, images, gestures, to totally and atmospherically unsettle our ideas of where we are, what we are, and how we are. He has brought the word healing into this work, and I find that my experience of this word becomes something newly temporal, relational, and even geographic. That healing isn't exclusively a physical response to ailment or even a solution or resolution, but something more oblique and ongoing, which is happening within us and between us, and in collaboration with the ancestral and the future. It's a great honor to welcome him to the Poetry Project. Now I'm going to share the microphone with No Land, who will give an introduction for Lucía.
Hi, I'm going to introduce Lucía, who is my sister. Lucía Hinojosa Gaxiola, poet, artist, publisher, confidant, entranced in prayer, lives outside perception, visits nuns, the woman's penitentiary, travels to Sabina's grave, lies down on the surface of a rocky metal moon, studies the monk unfazed by wild bears. Her Mexico City apartment, a stop on the poet's railroad, threads the grace of invisibility through the hidden element of things. Poet saying the thing unsaid. We need not speak to sense our tracing of the threadbare notions, the covert poet rainbow hidden in a dewdrop atop a vanishing temporal tongue. She excavates her ancestry, siphons pearls of wisdom out from behind the spirits of her guides. Her moon dance, her gemstone diplomatic, carved, perfected in lines and sculpted. She spins realities, assembling poet troops to connect with those held in cages, and strings words into luminous jewelry, illuminated relief. She writes, if you learn to read it, this diacritical object becomes symbol, amulet. Everything is hijacked by the laws of correspondence, oracle, vibration, hieroglyph. Keep mining the hidden element of things. Elements of our 21st century that may go more hidden without Lucia's care. Lineage, community. She is on a mission to, as Baraka said, get a record down, traces the vibrations of Hakim Bey, translates him, publishes him for new generations, offers nuns to seek the Holy Spirit in the black ink pot well. In the night she sits alone humming Kopal in her studio, beneath jacaranda trees. It is rare for a young artist to work so tirelessly for both her elders and her peers, creating communities, honoring predecessors wherever she goes, while simultaneously cultivating her own soul and visions through many forms of art. What fate graced our paths entwining when Anne Waldman introduced us, and it started with a teacup, a poem encased in ice, a sister hermetic extroverted winged fire, a plot to publish photographs. The Telluranya circuit is a perfected work, sculpted like translucent marble, carrying secrets of the many layers of reality and dissonance. Her eyes translucent like her earth, psychic opacities, friction of charcoal gestures holding New York and Mexico City together by thread. She pilgrimages to sites and persons to see them deeply, as psychic as healer, diplomat sifting realities curiously. She taught me sisterhood. The Telluranya Circuit is her first full-length book of poetry, and I am very proud of her. Introducing Lucía.
Thank you so much, No Land. And we're all here, all the people that have to be here. I want to thank Leanne Brown and Tender Buttons Press for this book that just arrived like a couple hours ago. And I want to thank so many people, Kyle, the Poetry Project, Guadalupe, all my friends, old and new, and we will just start tonight. For the vestiges, for future memory. The telaraña circuit, el circuito telaraña. ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es? Patrones de venación, venation patterns. Lenguaje abierto. Las hojas oscilan en tándem, archivos tejidos por el pulso del viento. Open language, open the language. Everything oscillates in tandem. Archives are threaded by the wind's pulse. Everything is pure projection, like a non-developed film on someone's shelf, next to other objects. We're inside the virtual infinity scroll, but the reality of the image will never be revealed by light, measurements, hitting, waiting for your perception. 5,000 years have passed since the first inscription of gesture, a fossil like a dead wave at the shore, or the etymology of chaos, meaning formless, primordial matter. We met between bardos at the initiation of pattern consciousness. Image, noise, truth, only in the dark room, in this dark room. Experiment the moving shape of memory, the archaeology of sound. This vacuum is our thread relation, a series of questions that are also open like breath to breath. Your deathbed in your mother's room. Your whole life is an archive of inhalations. You were unearthing a city covered in deep time. San Martín Huamelulpan, en la Mixteca Alta. Score, notation, ossicles inside the ear. Found memory like a found object, or a field for animated cavities, localities of erasure. How do I read the music that was city, that was room, that was unseen, like the image of my mother's elbow on your pillow, holding your last breath? When she woke up before waking up, when she woke up before waking up, she said, void is imminent, origin. The telaraña circuit is a radio impulse, connecting or broadcasting while you're doing something else. You don't even know. It's like a traveler with a broken bag gathering fragments in transit. I thought you were coming, but I am always late trying to unpack the chorus, the second stanza, the last word image, trying to translate the mechanism into micro-prophecy. A circle is a thought pattern, rough around the edges. The sound of a paper bag reminds me there is no past. This cafe window, suspended city light, interlocks the memory of the place I was born. But why is there no memory of birth? Or probably your whole life is the birth of your memory, like a passing millisecond, a slow response. I wonder if atoms are changing shape. In this solstice, I ask myself, what is the anatomy of belief? If we cannot see void, perhaps corners are the only form of identity. The destination of speech. Under soil, years later, we heard her murmurs. Like a script, while taking notes, she sat in front of a table. Every stone held unending narratives, a totemic aspect of extinction. Similar to words, these rocks, they travel, they recombine, they disappear. Somehow, I remember while passing through the metaphor of a highway is revealed again. Desert wind, like a trance property. Searching for ancestors in a dream, there is no center. But time arises, at least at the beginning, when matter dissolves. Your family came in a boat, a traveling water molecule. A traveling water molecule joined the last helix of your DNA. They came from and descended from a margin. Then an aunt told me that Julia married a man named... He did the snake dance. You arrived too in the dream. There was a van and no borders, just the border of reality. Your family helped me look for Julia, her sediment still composting the Sonoran desert. We are a serpent moving with the 7 directions. Some cardinal points will orient us to impeccability through the continuous sound of animas that left this conception of reality. They still grow from the edges. Honor their fragments like waves, like vibratory points. The chant of a universe is already happening. Some are carrying the head, others the tail. Its unbroken medular body is in the minerals of your blood, still in correspondence with your astral body. But all phenomena are symbols from somewhere else, like this cosmogenic unfolding that is permanently hiding. The gravity of paper falling on the table. As you take the next photograph, toss it down like a pine tree leaf sinking on the pavement. Notice the whole length of incoming breath. When does it become out breath? What happens in the break? Is it all pure continuum like a karmic wind sitting on the root of your spinal cord? I am looking for the form, she said, or the raw material, specifically from the plane of its existence. It was a search for a perceptual practice, like the sensation of matter over the surface of your skull, or water as the architecture of memory. A game of awareness, a game of profusion, but allow the ecstasy of thought to come inside the pipes while your jaw is locked, thinking of perception expanding like a future transmission, or the actuality of mystery. Oh, now I see her tactile mind flowing in the conduit of experience. Toponimio. The battle over linguistic maps and how they guide our search for place is elsewhere. That's a quote by Christopher Rey Pérez. Toponymio. Statistics of the ephemeral, a matter of time. Notes on performative drifts. 146. Where is the echo? She asks. It is at the interface, coming with the currents. Where are these flowers from? They are an echo. 3:10. El viento que pega en la piedra, el viento que pega en la piedra. ¿Cuántos años de antimonumentos? Been walking all night in the darkroom surfaces, like spirits, like an existential trace. The forces of meteorology, frequencies on voiceover, then mute. The emergence of forms, constructing an onomastic travel. Amplify gestures, amplify silences, amplify all these memories in multiplicities. Cutting, 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 spliced, recovery. Cut the silence in more halves, like a fading sound, pulsation, the ritual score. Unseen diagrams are also dialogues. And there are 3 geographic coordinates. Space-time is the 4th coordinate. Stratum configurations. If you are current, where is origin? Disintegrate circular tempo, track ontology, on repeat, track ontology, Dislocar la ruina, el azar situado en lugares de borradura. Imagino su éxtasis al hallar, allá hay. Y así, la palabra fracaso ya está rota desde el inicio. Y ahí podemos hallar. 5:19. Salieron flores salvajes y no habían ojos humanos todavía. Su formación evolutiva tomó miles de racimos, mitologías oxidadas, carburando bajo la oración de sus cráteres, minerales subterráneos. Brotan alfabetos, brotan escrituras asémicas, brotan los ritmos, y así aletea la estructura que levita sin decir. Aquí hallamos flores que nadie sembró, flores hierbas, flores lapsos, flores neolíticas, flores entrañas, flores hormigas, que emergen con palabras impresas por erosión, por energía eólica. Aquí hallamos al abandono, sobre sus condiciones milagrosas, hallamos a nadie. 6:01. Tepalcates. Alteridad rota, ventana rota, creencia rota, trozos con gestos de aire, partidos abiertos se encuentran en las afonías de tus pasos. Aquí 2 miradas se miran en 2 miradas dentro de una fotografía que mira la mirada hallada. Métodos de recuperación, respirar en la deconstrucción. Así, En este muro voy a marcar la cadencia de un mapa sin forma, de un residuo interior. Aquí, con su propio levantamiento, de intervalo, de rastro, en geofonía latente. Así, en el roce se van vaciando y aparecen las notas al pie. Todas ellas seres que no conocí, sonido en retroalimentación, sonido que se devora a sí mismo, imperceptible hasta que ya no es sonido. Tienes que pasar por ahí, me dijeron. Cuando pasas no es tu cuerpo lo que pasa, lo que traduce se propaga y al descender asciendes. Encuentra los vórtices, encuentra los campos electromagnéticos, poco a poco recorre la temporalidad de la araña y para que salgan los fantasmas no hagas ningún ruido. Un video en la ruina, un video proyectado sobre el muro. Impulsos electroquímicos. Es un video para las sombras, para los insectos, para las moléculas de Dios, para los futuros en potencia, para nadie. Thoracic cavity. Anatomical blue. Meridians as axes. Map all the women you carry inside your lungs. Every time you breathe, they bow down to their knees, praying for cosmographical friction. Keep mining, keep breathing, keep mining the hidden elements of things. Populations ascend in the act of blinking. I found seed to be periphery, and a variety of documents, images, x-rays, ephemera, stamped for terrestrial departure as a method of inquiry. La palabra es cuerpo que respira, y el nombre de un lugar es también un cuerpo. Pero ¿qué es lugar? ¿Cómo, para qué es lugar? Where, what is place? Who, what makes place? How, why are we place? Chemical language. A scorpion had something to tell me, she said. Your method of excavation is similar to the weather forecast, a geometry of attention. Tu visión frente al volcán analiza el proceso. Cronos, crono, crono, crono. Chronological position. Position your logos in this shadow running, this sun climbing, this time as circulation. Transitory lunar porosities. Bodies like cities, like moon became rock, pyramid, material time mapping, altar de cráneos, all the echoes for grounding space. Dissipate, First cities, then organized systems. You are the analysis of animal bones, she said. Telaraña as emanation, like a memory in transit, becomes expanded self, becomes a prayer in action. What is to be water, temporal or physical? Change my ontology, become archipelago. Separate the whole into these units, the lamentations of a world. You are the friction of these currents, she said, colonial violence. But who do you have to be legible to? We share the rhythms of vision by blinking together. All species arise from condition, from punctuation as you walk and pause. And when does gesture become object? When we read and wrote on water, hydromancy, geomancy. If you learn to read it, this diacritical object becomes symbol, amulet. We blink to separate, like the violence of I on the page, interface, interference, incision, decode this residual trace. I'd rather see through your 3-channel video piece, through your third world eye apparatus, and become wave work. Everything is hijacked by the loss of correspondence, oracle, iracle, vibration hieroglyph. All that bacterial resonance, mesh the stimuli, cohabitate synapses. Consciousness as waste, a metabolic byproduct. We are a vertebrae, one vertebrae, all chemical language lies in the eternity of chemical vertebrae language. Element poem. Accepting the doctrine that the microcosm of the human body contains all the particles of the macrocosm. This poem reveals the minerals of vowels, or the vowels of minerals, containing the number of elemental particles in the human body. Oxígeno, 65%. Carbón, 18%. Hidrógeno, 10%. Nitrógeno, 3%. Calcio, 1.5%. Fósforo, 1%. Potasio, 0.25. Sulfuro, sodio, cloro, magnesio, hierro, flúor, zinc, silicón, rubidio, estroncio, bromo, plomo, cobre, aluminio, cadmio, cerio, bario, estaño, yodio, titanio, boro, selenio, níquel, cromo, manganeso, arsénico, litio, mercurio, cesio, molibdeno, germanio, cobalto, antimonio, plata, niobio, circonio, lántano, telurio, bismuto, galio, indio, oro, escandio, tántalo, vandio, uranio, samario, tungsteno, radio. Mantra. O, ieo, ao, ioeo, ioeo, aio, aio, io, aio, io, o, au, io, aio, 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 io, aio, o, io, aio, o, aio, o, aio.
está el sol? Where is the sun? El sol, ando buscando el sol. ¿A dónde estás? The sun in our solar system. You. Mercury. Where is Mercury? Mercurio, ¿a dónde estás? Mercurio. Mercurio. Where's Venus? Where's Venus? ¿A dónde estás? Venus. Bien despacio, dale vueltas a ella, por favor. Bien despacito, sí. ¿A dónde está la Madre Tierra? Mother Earth, where are you? Madre Tierra, ¿dónde estás? Madre Tierra. Madre Tierra, Mother Earth. Bien despacio, por favor. ¿A dónde está la luna? Where's the moon? Gracias, Luna. So you just have to rotate very slowly on. Mars, where is Mars? Mars. Jupiter. Jupiter. Where is Jupiter? Jupiter. Saturn. Where is Saturn? Saturn. Can someone tell me who's next? What is it? I can't hear you. Oh, confusing in the crowd. Where is Uranus? Where is Uranus? Neptune. Where is Neptune? Neptune? Neptune. And Pluto.
21st of December 2010. The Mayan descendants began to prepare for the fifth sun, when the new humanity emerges. The ceremony of the sacred fire marks the beginning of that new era. And these are some lines about that. Chiapas. Strolling down the mountain, still, the fog settling on the branches. Barefoot, half drunk, we reach out for the limbs of trees, lifeless branches, cut down to feed the sacred fire. Felt my heart racing, singing somebody's name, maybe a prayer. As I held the axe and let it fall over and over onto the lifeless body. I asked for forgiveness, license. My limbs, though tired, kept working, sweating. Truths from the shaman kept circling as vultures waiting for a meal, falling. Still, amid broken hearts, see the truths dancing, circling above, around me. My tongue taste the flames as our lives feed the sacred fire. Back in August, our church in Bay Ridge, Good Shepherd, where we partner with Guadalupe Maravilla, began sheltering people, mostly from Venezuela, who were coming, who were being forced on buses and coming into our city. And now all we know somebody, I think, over 60,000 people have come the last 8 months. It's a crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis. And we are, our little church on a corner is responding as much as we can. So we've been doing all sorts of stuff, from feeding to giving out Metro cards, phones. We have 2 kitchens going 7 days a week. So Guadalupe has been collaborating with us, doing sound baths. These are people who have traveled thousands of miles. And they have met with a great deal of generosity from us, New Yorkers. So I am grateful to that. Still, I think the work that needs to be done has a lot to do with how we keep ourselves human. And I think that is the main crisis that we are wrestling with. How do we keep human as we keep welcoming people, welcoming our neighbor, responding to another human being. Despite, the political turmoil and the scapegoating that's going on, we need to keep grounded on our humanity and see the other as that person. So, it is our humanity at stake here. And we need everybody on board. So, thank you for being here with us this night. Many of you I know, and I believe in the power of art, poetry, sound. I think it does respond to the crisis of humanity that we have in our midst. So anything that humanizes us, and art is powerful because of that. Anything that keeps us human will help us to win this battle that we are working, that we are waging. So thank you for coming. I think I was supposed to introduce myself. I did not. He was going to say some words, so I let him say. I said enough.
Yes, so Juan Carlos Ruiz is our surprise guest. I just want to thank you. I'm so honored that you're here. And Lucía, muchas gracias también por todo. I met Juan Carlos Ruiz at the beginning of the pandemic when I was trying to do my own, just kind of create my own way to help the undocumented community in the pandemic. And someone told me, after a few months, it was not sustainable. So someone connected me to Juan Carlos, who was feeding 3,000 people at the church. And we started collaborating from there, doing anything from planting a garden on the rooftop of the church, to delivering foods, to carrying 1,500 pounds of grains on our backs like every Wednesday, to raising money. And equally as important to that is the healing work, the sound baths, and all those ceremonies that we did at the church, and continue to do them over this time. And I remember one time we were in the rain, moving 100 pounds of bags of rice and beans and maseca, and it was like a really dark time in New York City when there was like 900 people dying per day. It was like one of those days. And it was like, wow, what are we doing, right? And I asked Juan Carlos, how do you cope with this? How do you stay so optimistic, right? And he said to me, I've been preparing for this moment my whole life, right? And I learned a lot just by talking to Juan Carlos, like as a human, right? And now everything that I do, I'm just like, wow, I'm preparing for this moment. Even today with Lucia, we've been preparing for this performance all our lives, right? And we need everyone, it just can't be one person doing all of this. And I think I have a lot of faith in humanity, like in the people that are crossing, the conversations that we have. The spirit is still very, very bright and very beautiful, no matter what they've gone through this 3,000-mile journey, 3.5 months by land, right, with no money. And I'm going to end with this story that I met with this young man, Leo, that I'm still very touched by him. He was 19 years old, and he came from Venezuela, and this person just was glowing so much. And he told me that he crossed this 3.5 months journey with not $1 in his pocket. And he just kind of went around asking for help and just finding the goodness in people. And that's how he made this 3.5 month journey. And just the power of that, right? And the faith that Juan Carlos has in all these people and all the volunteers and everyone around him. And it's just one example of like how he's doing it. We can all do it as well. So feel free to reach out to both of us for volunteers, or if you want to donate anything. It's just never ending how much need we have. So absolutely just feel free to reach out. And I just want to say thank you, Juan Carlos, for everything that you're doing. It's just like this endless kind of work. that I still wonder how you often do it and how you continue to shine. Like I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody.